Hello, everybody. This is Maya Zahira with psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and I'm here with another mini lesson. So today I would like to talk to you about what it means spiritually when you experience a ringing in your ears or a sound frequency type of experience. And as per usual, I am going to share information with you that's very contrary to the typical information that's out there in the spiritual world and online. And I've noticed that there are probably multiple hundreds, probably thousands of videos out there on YouTube alone that are giving false information about the spiritual meaning of ringing in your ears or a sound frequency vibration kind of experience. Now, of course, we want to clarify that we're not talking about a medical condition like tinnitus that could be a possible cause for ringing in the ears. So there are actual medical causes for ringing in the ears. So we're ruling that out. We're taking that and putting that over here. And we're talking specifically only about the spiritual aspects, spiritual causes of ringing in the ears. So if you've been a spiritual seeker for a while, you can probably guess what the popular idea is about ringing in the ears, because you've probably seen some of this information online, seen some of the videos. The common idea, incorrect idea, is that ringing in the ears, spiritual vibration kind of experience in one or the other ear or both ears, indicates high vibrations, high frequencies, or a high vibration spiritual being has entered into the space. I used to believe the same thing because I didn't know any better, and I hadn't had any I hadn't had the direct run-in with a false light entity in 2016 yet that showed me and awakened me to be able to see and experience and discern false light entities from authentic spiritual beings. False light entities are, false light entities are any type of negative spiritual being of any kind that is pretending to be a positive spiritual being. So this could be a demon that's pretending to be somebody's spirit guide. This could be a jinn entity that's pretending to be a council of aliens to channel messages to the person. This could be a human ghost who is a dark human ghost who is pretending to be an angel. And so on and so on. Those are the three most common types of beings that tend to shapeshift. Jinn are the trickiest. They are the most convincing. They're extremely tricky. And in fact, jinn in particular, because I've had, like I said, I've had face-to-face run-ins with false light entities and jinn in particular, as well as others. And I can tell you from experience and from being a highly tuned in person with all the clairs and with all these experiences that I had and observing, and I tend to be very forensic in that I have these spiritual experiences, but I'm also very analytical about it and I'm paying attention to details. And I can tell you that once I understood how jinn operate and other false light entities, I started to notice that when a jinn or another type of false light entity would enter into the space, I would hear a high-pitched frequency every single time. Not once was it an angel. Now, before I had that additional awakening to deeper levels of truth in 2016, before I had that awareness, I had many times where I would be in my treatment room. I used to do energy healing in my home, sessions in my home. And there were many times where I would be alone in the space meditating and preparing, and I would hear a high-pitched frequency, and I would be like, oh, angels are here, which is what pretty much everybody in the spiritual world thinks, because that is a lovely thought. And who doesn't want to have lovely thoughts? But for me, I would rather know the truth. And I'm telling you that when that high-pitched frequency happens, it's actually false entities, usually jinn. And not once has it been an authentic, benevolent being. I'm not saying that it never, ever, ever, ever could be. Maybe some of you watching this have had an authentic experience where you had the high pitch, but it's extremely unlikely. I've worked with, I don't know, a lot of people over the years and helped them discern their experiences, and I can psychically tune in to what they are telling me, the situations that they've had. I tune into it, and across the board, every time, it was always a false light entity. Is it possible that it could possibly be something good and authentic? Anything's possible. But I'm telling you that it's probable that if you are experiencing high-pitched frequency and you don't have a medical condition, then you need some help with false light entities. Okay? It's nothing to be afraid of. It's like going to the doctor, finding out that there's something out of balance in your body and you need to, it's not life-threatening, but you need to get it in check, get it in balance, so that you can be healthy. That's all. Nothing to be afraid of, but you do want to be aware of this. So I'm going to give you some avenues where you can get more information. Well, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, you can type into the search bar my name, Maya Zahira, and false light, and you'll find all my other videos where I explain and teach about many aspects of false light. So there are a few videos in my archive, and then I also have 2 books. I have 3 books right now, but there are 2 books that will really apply to this subject if you want to dive deeper and really get informed. The first book, my first book, is Darkness Disguised as Light. That is the story of how I came to understand false light entities and how I was woken up to be able to discern what false light entities from authentic entities. And you can get that on Amazon, and it's also on Audible if you're more of a listener type of person. The second book, so the whole first book is all about my story. And so you'll understand through my experiences how I came to understand, like how I experienced the false light situations. And that will be very informative for you. And then my second book, The Psychic Attack Sourcebook, has a whole chapter on false light. And it explains step by step, item by item, exactly how to identify false light entities. What are the signs? Because there's more signs than just a ringing in the ears, high pitch frequency. So what are some of the signs? And what are some of the different types of entities that do try to engage in this kind of tricky engagement? And then also some tips on how to deal with it. So that's the Psychic Attack Sourcebook. That's also on Amazon and also on Audible. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. There's so much great content on this channel. I've been making videos regularly for a few years now, and we could really use a boost. So help us out by making a comment in the comment thread and that helps the algorithms so that other people who are looking for this kind of information can find it as well. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. If you want more information, you can find it at psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. Lots of love.